Turning into Beyond Paranormal with Ben and Cheryl. I am Cheryl Adu. I'm here with my awesome husband, Ben. We have a great show for you tonight. We're going to be talking to the wonderful Geraldine Baus and Marsha Becker, also known as the Paranormal Angels. Are you girls here with us?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Yeah, she's here. You did something a lot of people can't do. You kept us quiet until the beginning of the show.
Kept me quiet, too, and then they just beat me in. So how are you both?
Doing well.
I'm good. Good.
And say hi so I know who you are.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I got you hooked on chat. You know, we'll watch Halloween Wars, and you'll really like that. Halloween Wars. These people have to make these elaborate Halloween themes out of, like, sugar and molding chocolate and pumpkin. Like, it's crazy. It's so cool.
Wow, you're speaking my language. You're talking about sugar. Let's go.
Is that Tiffany talking? I don't think that's us. That's not Marsha or Jerry, right?
Yeah, Jerry's the sugar addict.
I'm the sugar addict.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the healthy one. She used to walk and stuff. While I sat home, she'd text me, and I'd say, "Yep, I'm eating a donut. I'm taking a walk for 3 miles." I'm like, "Good for you."
Well, that's okay. Not anymore.
No. Now I have to walk, so, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure who was talking because it was really quiet.
Oh, that's really weird. No, we're just trying to be polite, not...
We weren't talking at all, and I thought somebody was talking about putting on a TV show, and then I just sat here and thought, okay, this is weird. Okay.
Voices from beyond.
Always.
Yes, always. You know, we have to... Who's that?
I have to reload. My cat decided it'd be fun to play with my keyboard.
Yes, I have a little Siamese, and she just took out Ben's computer and shut him off of everything.
Yeah, my cat does that too. Yeah, walks all over it.
Okay.
That's
drives
adorable.
me crazy.
Well, they're cute though.
Yeah. Well,
I know why
this morning she decided to take my drapes down, so they're laying on the floor. She's just a kitten. I don't know how she did that.
I have like wrought iron hangers like clasped around the bars. I didn't put up real curtain rods. I used like wrought iron and I painted them black.
Yeah, that's what I have, and I just drape them over. Yeah.
And
we use pipe.
Like pipe iron or something.
Made them. They're pipe. They're actually Schedule 40 pipe. They're like heating pipe.
And you cannot bend them.
You could do chin-ups on them.
But
decorating ideas from the Paranormal. Yep, we have some good ones.
Yeah.
Is your chat room open? I'm just asking. I don't know if it's my notebook. Okay, it's my notebook. I'll go out and come back in.
It dropped all the way from the table about 8 feet. Took them straight out.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
You're here.
I'm
okay.
here.
Everybody
I don't know why I'm having problems hearing, and that's really strange. I just keep hearing other voices. Maybe it's interception on my phone. Who knows?
Who knows? Okay, I'm here.
Maybe.
Yay.
Only 2 of you right now.
Well,
I'll join chat room after I do something illegal like smoke a cigarette. Yeah, because
Jerry can do 2 things at the same time. I can't, so if I'm
come on. You know I'm doing
on.
another live show right now as we speak. Come on.
Now, how do the 2 of you ladies know each other? Because I know that you have a show, The Paranormal Angels. And how did you get to that name from your relationship?
That would take an entire hour for us to explain. But let's just say this.
Give her the short Reader's Digest version. Yeah, okay.
We're sisters. We've known each other for a very, very long time, probably longer than most people could even conceive of.
Yeah, many lifetimes.
So, it's a really odd thing, but we knew the day we started talking, we were exactly the 2 people we were talking to everyone else looking for. So it's a supernatural happening, and here we are. We
met actually in a chat room. Ed was on a show, and I was in the chat room kind of answering questions also about his book, and we started talking. And it's like I saw her in my head. I knew exactly what she looked like. I knew who she was. And
I already knew all her dirty secrets. I said, "Who's filling them on her?" And she's
great,
like, "Okay,
fine, wonderful.
Who are you?
And
Shut your mouth."
she blackmails me. I have to send her brownies every week. But really, it was weird because I remember I just had gotten my Facebook, and actually Ed had given me his because he was starting a different one for his book. And I thought, oh, I forgot to give her my Facebook name. And I felt so bad. I thought, how am I going to find her again? And there she was, friending me, and it just kind of went from there.
I'm so weird. I put that.
Everybody that sees us talking or hears us talking or sees us, they all immediately say, you two definitely are sisters. And it just is a very easy relationship. We just know both of us have always known all our lives we had it. We both told our mothers that we had a sister, and both our mothers said, no, you don't. And we would say, yes, we do. And it was just weird. It wasn't. I wasn't a bit surprised.
No, it's really strange. Really strange that she's the bad one, though.
That's kind of the way your whole life has gone. Am I right?
I'm sorry.
I can't hardly hear you. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's my phone.
I said that seems to be the way your whole life has gone for you. You kind of people have been predetermined in your life.
Yeah, both of us. Yeah, definitely. Both of us have like that.
I heard the story about how you met your husband.
Yeah, 3 days, and that is a true story. I really hesitate to tell it because people go, no way. You know, that's just 47 years later, here we are. But it is the truth. My roommate took me to a nightclub where Ed's band was playing from out of town. I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the time. So I didn't do clubs, and I was busy. I worked and tried to keep my head above water. I was just 18. And, well, actually, I just turned 19. She took me out for my birthday, took me to the club. So when the band stopped for a break, my roommate, who's very aggressive, says, go ask him to dance. Well, back in those days, she just didn't do that. And I was like, no way. But I thought, I've got nothing to lose. It's my birthday. I want to dance with somebody. So I walked up and asked him to dance, and the minute we danced, that was it. And 3 days later, we were married, and here we are. I know.
I'm just kidding.
I know. It's one of those stories where people go, you made that up, and I swear to you it's the truth. But, again, we knew each other. And I've had that, Geraldine's had that, all my life. You meet people where you feel like you've known them for a very long time, and you're very comfortable with them, or you feel like you want to run, quick, go away. There's something about you that just really freaks me out. So you can also get that kind of feeling, too. So it's not just all fun and games.
And you knew that you were searching for him a little bit before you met him.
Yes, that is true. I told him, I said, I knew him. I mean, I saw him in dreams. I just knew him. I had a psychic when a bunch of us went to a psychic when we were about 16. We all piled in a car, and she lived way out on the outskirts of town. And nice old grandmotherly farm lady. I mean, she wasn't freaky looking or weird or anything. And we kids would all sit in a circle on the floor, and she would just start talking to us. And she would point to one and say something, point to another one and say something. And she pointed to me. First thing she said was, your dad's in the doorway, say hi. I lost my dad when I was 4. So I turn around, and sure enough, there he was. And I'm just like frozen. I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. And it didn't last long, probably seconds. But it's one of those things where time doesn't enter into it. You're in a kind of a void. So I didn't say anything, and I kind of smiled at her. And I was kind of shy back then, so I didn't talk a lot, believe it or not. And so she said to me, you will meet the man that you're going to marry, the same man that's in your dreams, and he's not from here. She said he will come from another state. And then I believe she said from the north, if I remember correctly. This was a very long time ago. And I sort of put that on the back burner until I met Ed, and that came back. Her words came back to me as soon as I saw him. I said, that's it. He's it. And it was weird because my roommate and my parents and everybody just freaked out. You can't do that. You can't go off with him, and you don't even know him. And I said, I do. Don't worry about it. I know him. And so it took a couple of years before they realized he wasn't going to dump me off in the desert or something, that this was the real deal. But, yeah, people think we're kind of strange when we tell that story, but it's for real. Swear to God.
Yeah,
that's not mine.
Great, and I really enjoyed reading it and hearing about it. And you can thank your husband for that.
Oh, he worked on that book he kept a kind of a diary sort of thing, the journal, because he didn't want to lose the memories, the details. Right. Thinking that someday we would leave these to our kids so that they would know the story.
Right.
And so really that's what got him going. And then he decided to sort of put it in book form, did some editing and added a little more to it, just memories from memoirs, and gave it to our daughter, our youngest daughter, and he told her to publish it under her name as told to. Because Ed really didn't want the notoriety. He just enjoyed writing the book. But everybody has to understand the book is really from his vantage point, the way he saw things. So I know when people ask me questions and I'll give my answers, they'll go, but that wasn't in the book. Well, it probably won't be because there's my version. And the way I saw things, because I was there, all the time. So I saw things a little bit differently and had different reactions to the things going on. I think men typically try to brave it out. I can deal with this. It's just a ghost. And women, I think we tend to be a lot more sensitive. So we may, I don't know, frightened is the right word. I mean, for me it was. But I think we react a little differently than a lot of men do. We don't try to brave it out necessarily. So anyway, that's just kind of...
Ben's sitting here chatting in the chat room right now, and we started out dating in a really weird way. He was friends with my sister and had attended a birthday party, and so we just kind of happened upon each other. I grew up with his brother. He grew up with my sister, and he asked me to go out after one day of talking.
Oh.
And later on he had told me, I could have asked you to marry you the first day I met you. I knew that you were the one. And to be honest, we were absolutely best friends, inseparable from that moment, other than when he was working. I mean, it wasn't long before he proposed to me officially. Well,
wow.
Unofficially, I have to say, but for the namesake of our families, we kind of kept it hush-hush for a couple more months. But, I mean, within 9 months, we were engaged, and 9 months later, we were married. And now here we are. We've been together about 15 years, married 13 and a half. So.
Wow. That's sweet.
Not quite 47 yet.
Well, first of all, you got to like each other. Because if you don't, you're in big trouble. Just to be our age, we spend a lot of time together, especially since Ed produces our show, And so we're very involved in what each other does. So you really do have to respect and like each other, or it's not going to work. And that helps a lot. Jerry and I are very lucky because you guys know how hard it is to put a show together, and all the promos and the bios and getting guests, and Ed does all the hard work. And we just kind of show up. And I always say we just show up and be pretty. And we get the fun part.
Yeah, I'm not so pretty when I show up, though. No makeup, sitting here in your pajamas doing radio. Oh, not really pretty, but,
I don't
he does
tell
all
people
the hard
that.
work.
I'm in full makeup, evening gown. Yeah.
We lost a listener last night because he thought it was on video. I was like, dude, are you crazy? You don't want to see this right now. I mean, really?
Oh, never.
No way. Nope.
I'm not that brave. No. Actually, we had a host do that one time. It was about a year ago, and I'd only done a couple of shows with Ed, so I really wasn't comfortable yet on radio, and I was still a little bit nervous. And I said to Ed, he said, we're Skyping, but don't worry, it's sound only. I said, okay. So I didn't do, no makeup, my hair's in a ponytail, I'm just looking like scruffy old me. And we Skype in, and she goes, how about we add video? All I remember screaming is, no, when I slammed that computer down. And my husband looked at me like I'd lost my mind. And he goes, Marcia's notebook doesn't get Skype. Actually, it's not supposed to. That's the weird thing. My notebook isn't supposed to get Skype, yet it did. Isn't that weird? It's a very strange household here. So I don't know. It gets some kind of weird thing.
Nothing about your house shocks me.
Yeah. Well, we have pass-throughs, but Jerry has more fun stories about that stuff. We have lame.
Lots of crews. We have lots of regulars at my house too, so it's not surprising if you get someone walk through a room or hear a voice or a noise, sound. Lots of visitors, lots of regulars. It's fun.
Well,
anybody that's just tuning in, thank you so much. We are listening to Geraldine Palmer-Baus and Marcia Becker, also known as the Paranormal Angels. If you'd like to call in, if you have a question, if you'd like to talk to us, our number is 818-431-8214. I know it says Skype, but it's a phone line. It's not really Skype. Sitting here, generally, these ladies know how it is. We're at home.
Yeah.
We're doing it at home. I'm not currently in my pajamas, but normally I would be.
Good girl.
That's the only way to do a show. Yep. In your PJs.
Yeah, it's most comfortable. I mean, it's the end of the night for us. I just put on my pajamas. You can imagine out there, whatever you think it may be. It may be something nice. Listeners, we'll just let your imaginations run wild. I'm never sitting here naked, so don't think any bad thoughts. That's never going to happen.
We tried pulling that one once. It didn't go over too well. Nobody believed it. We're bad.
So our number, 818-431-8214. If you have any questions for any of these lovely ladies or for Ben and I, feel free to give us a call. We love talking to our listeners as well through the night. Jerry, your story growing up, you've had paranormal experiences your entire life. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit?
Well, that's the thing, Cheryl. I don't consider it paranormal. I hear the word paranormal. It's thrown around continuously. I like to think of it as just being born a little bit more aware, a little bit more open. For whatever reason, some of us, are born that way. Some of us, maybe 13, 14, I hear. It's a common age to become aware of, the fact that you're a little different, maybe extremely different. You're sensitive, you have visions, you're intuitive. A lot of people, and, this is really weird, but recently I've been getting a lot of email from women who are in their 40s and 50s, and they just now are discovering, I'm an empath. I've been like this my whole life, but I didn't know what it was, and now it's stronger. For some reason it's kicking up. The word paranormal to me, to me, paranormal is more normal than what these people who are a little bit more closed-minded seem to think normal is. You know what I mean? To me, that's not normal, to walk around in a world that you think just consists of material objects and you're just a flesh creature that crawls around here and drops dead. I mean, to me, that's a little closed-minded, and that's paranormal. I mean, think about it. You have an almighty creator who made you a spiritual being, and you're in this flesh to learn your lessons and to grow wisdom and to grow wise. You have a purpose. So for them, a lot of people to think that they're just here and they're just, this little flesh being walking around and talking and, you're plant food when you're done, basically. I think that's a paranormal point of view to me.
Yeah, all of it regardless, is a great gift. And I feel, so many people feel that things like that are curses. They don't like their gifts. For me, I just think that being so intuitive and being able to tap into those, parts
it could very well be, though, hon. I mean, I see it like this. If you want to take this, you have to take the good with the bad. And, if you want to look at it as a curse, then you'll be cursed. You'll attract negative, bad energy, bad spirits, bad situations. It's all perspective. It's all energy. Everything that you put out, you're going to attract back.
Right, and I consider them such wonderful gifts that, some of my closest friends have. I have a little bit, not nearly as much as others. Ben is very talented. He's come into some amazing abilities lately. Well, actually, he's been trying at it to really tune in for quite some time. So it's just...
That's good.
It's just such a great gift.
It is. Tear down the walls, Ben, okay? No holds barred. Tear down the walls. Stop living in the world that they told you that you're living in, and just realize something, okay? You're a spirit in a body, and you have a lot more abilities than the people that control this whole environment that we live in, using us as little slaves. God forgive me for saying that, but you have a lot more ability inside of you than they would ever want you to acknowledge.
Mhm. I know I try really hard, but I think I have so much going on around me. It's really hard sometimes to tune into the things I want, and then other times I get so incredibly sick, and I will get pain, physically ill, and literally feel like something negative or deathly is circling around me, telling me things. And
you may be attracting negative energy if you're stressed out, anxiety-ridden.
Sure.
You could be attracting that. You have to be careful with that.
Yes, but that's kind of not the case, and what I'm getting at is I almost felt like it was an intuitive thing this week because someone very close to me, I was exhibiting all of their symptoms and, feeling that bad feeling, and they rushed to the emergency room and got some really bad answers from the doctors about some.
We have a friend that's going through something similar, and it's strange to me how, and I know the paranormal field, a lot of friends are friends with friends that are friends of friends.
Sure.
It seems like there's like some strange, I don't want to say attachment, maybe there's a little string of something going through right now, everyone. It's like a happening of some kind. I've noticed, now this is going to sound really odd, I know that people in the paranormal community will message me and they'll say a few lines or, they'll write me a paragraph, and then I'll have another friend text me on my phone, and it'll entail kind of the same message, and they've all been negative, and they all kind of mock each other. And it's been going on now for a couple of months. And Marcia and I were talking about this the other day. We're like, there's something wrong here. Something's not right about this. So we're going to do a little bit of work on that. But, yeah, I know exactly what you mean, but there's so many shades to this, being empathic. You'll pick up what may happen to someone. You'll feel their symptoms. But you're also connecting with that energy that's causing it. And what I'm saying is if you're in a position where you're open to keeping some of that, you'll keep it. What you have to do is you have to rid yourself of that, and there are ways to do that. But unfortunately, I don't see a lot of ways that are personalized. I mean, everything is just general. When you read something that someone's put out, they'll say, well, I meditate, and I do this, and I do this, and you're like, well, I have kids in my house, okay, and I can't sit down and meditate.
The thing is, meditation can backfire on you also.
And it can. It can open you up, too. So you have to have a
You could let something bad in without even realizing it. Not you personally. I'm just speaking in general terms.
That's true. It's true.
And
we talk about this stuff all the time.
Right. They need to learn how to meditate the correct way and keep their mind strong on the positive. And say a prayer before. We push that a lot. And I know people go, oh, yeah. But, you know, it doesn't matter what your religion is or what your belief system is. Whatever it is, pray and say your prayers, your protection prayers first. And put that in place. It's like chicken soup. It can't hurt. You know, it can always, and a little extra help and backup is always a good thing. Because we've seen some bad results. And Jerry's had to clean up a few more than one or two messes, right?
It's become very, I don't know, Cheryl, this month alone, I have had 4 people come to me from different groups that are on Facebook, and they do investigations, and they kind of know each other. They come to me with the same symptoms, the same complaints, the same kind of thing going on in their social life, personal life. And I just have to sit back and wonder sometimes, what's going on with this? And there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. And people are always saying, well, you know, I've never had physical contact with that person, so it can't be the same spirit causing all this crap. And I'm like,
well, that's not true. Right.
Yes, it can. Yeah, right. It very well can.
And they need to know that. We do a lot of, I don't know what you call it, information giving. We try to get as much out there as we can to educate people. And if you're going to do this, if you're going to see if you can strengthen your abilities through practice or whatever, I'm no expert in that field. Jerry's really the one to talk to about that. But, you know, I do know just from hearing her talk, there are positive ways and safe ways. And not so good and not so safe, even though you mean well in your heart, the intent's there. But still, it's no different. A candle, a Ouija board, you know, any of those things, all potentially dangerous.
I'm telling Ed to stifle it in chat. He said, poor Cheryl. Stifle it, Ed. You hear me, Mr. Producer? All great seeing eye. Oh, wait, that's the great seer. I just called him the all-seeing eye. Devil.
The all-seeing eye. We don't let him talk too much, but once in a while we let him out of his cage and he gets to talk.
Yeah.
Jerry and I worked, you know, we talked about probably for a year. If we had a show, we'd like to do this. Or if we had a show, we'd like to bring this person on. We would it was gelling for a year. We would just sort of talk about it and then let it go. And it was one of those things we just didn't know how to get started. How do you take that first step? Luckily, Ed says, well, I pretty much know. You girls want to do a show, I'll get you going. I'll find you a guest, and I'll set you up. And we're like, oh, okay, that works. So it's been a lot of fun. We have met or been introduced to some really amazing people with amazing stories. I'm so glad. I don't think we've had one negative guest, have we?
No, not that I know. Well, I'm not going to say that. I love all of our guests, but we've had
I don't think any of them.
We've had
really...
a few guests that I didn't actually agree with.
That's going to happen, yeah. I mean, you get 5 people in a room, you're going to have 5 different viewpoints. So, yeah,
exactly.
That's always
and you know, it's
happen.
hard when it's your own show because you can't just. And I've heard people say, "Why don't you just disagree?" Or "Why don't you,
No, because our number one
they don't
rule.
know. Why don't you set them straight?" Because I don't want to be rude. Yeah, no, I just don't want to do that.
We have a guest on.
From what I understand in chat, that we're having issues and Cheryl can't talk for some reason.
I'm sorry.
No, she can't. She literally can't get out of mute. So, Marcia.
Oh, that's weird.
This?
Okay, well, we'll just keep
you?
checking. We have no problem there.
Oh, my God.
Well, we're speaking of things. Ed and I always, since that house, have had something with us all the time. Passer-throughs, relatives coming to say hi. Nothing negative, nothing bad. And a couple of months ago, I had a small yellow dog and a small yellow cat come. And the cat left. But the weird thing is, a couple of weeks later, a kitten, white kitten, showed up almost literally on our doorstep. And we still have the cat. I misnamed her Angel, but she's definitely the cat from hell. So I've got to rename her. I don't think Angel's going to work. Fallen Angel, maybe. But the dog is still here. And in fact, the dog freaks the cat out. So she was in there in her cat box screaming and crying because this phantom dog was in there, I think, bothering her, and she didn't want to. It was scaring her. So
I
now
have
my
a real dog
likes
in my
this
house
dog.
that bothers me. Yeah.
Yeah, we have one that's attached to one of Ed's old guitars, and so he's come with us to the new house. He's been with us ever since Ed got that guitar. We thought it was the house that it was attached to before, but we figured out it's actually an old guitar.
I don't know what that is, but that's
I don't know
funny.
either. Are they playing a commercial and we're yakking away?
The show's a mess. Look what we did.
We can't hear
we
each
even
other,
got the
so
host
we
of
have
the
no
show
idea.
to not even be able to talk. I mean, how does that happen?
Oh,
Ed said it's
my.
a pace. Oh, Ed's playing guitar. That's nice. You want to do a solo, Ed, while we got time? Come on.
No, he's talking about the one that the spirit's attached to is an old 50s bass.
Well, hey,
from the
I want
50s.
to hear him play. Let's go.
Well, he's not going to play now. He's back
come
there
on,
with
Ed,
his feet
play.
up.
You are no fun.
He's in chat. He's typing. He goes do one thing at a time.
Lord. He wants me to do the Meg Ryan scene. You know the scene that I'm talking about.
I think we're lucky. We, like I said, we have, and there's also this big to-do over whether orbs are real or not real. I don't want to get into an argument with anybody. We personally believe they are real because we've had them in every family picture since the beginning of time, since we began a family. So, and they're always there. There'll be one or two, not like a bunch. But, some will have faces. It's just not unusual for us to have something around us. But it's always been good, with the exception of the house. So, true haunting is, why people I think why the book became such a bestseller and why it's so popular is because so many people have said to us, it sounds true. It's believable. And we said, there's nothing in there that's exaggerated. There's no embellishments. It's just cold, hard facts. In fact, there's more because there's my story and then one of our tenants. So if we ever talk him into giving us a few days and coming for a visit where Ed can get all his story, there may be a second book, A True Haunting too. So
that
that's
would be really awesome. It's time too. I mean,
I think so because this book was. I think it's like 3 years, I believe. I could be a little off there, but that it has been in the top 10. It was number 1 for almost 2. It would slide down to number 2 and then come back up again after a few days. But the reason being, you're talking tens of thousands of books that people write us. It helped a lot of people because they saw themselves. So it validated them. They didn't feel uncomfortable about saying, I think I have something in my house. And we got to the point where what we did was make a list of people that we trust and give it to people. We think this person can help you, or that person, and try to put them on some sort of positive trail to help them out. So in the investigation is great, but a lot of them don't do anything about cleansing the house. So when they leave, the people are still scared, or there's still stuff there. But I got to tell you, I wish I would give anything if back in the day we could have called some teams and said, please come over and tell us what in the heck is here.
Yeah,
because,
you have to be careful these days with the teams, too, because a lot of these teams want to go in and collect evidence, make videos with it, hoping to get a TV show, and never help clear out what is in the home in the first place. This is my personal opinion. My personal opinion
make it worse.
They do. They kick everything up and then just walk away. My personal opinion is they need to have someone on their team that knows how to do spiritual cleansings and cleansings of homes. And if they don't have someone on their team that can do that, what are they doing then? They're just going to go collect evidence and validate that something's there. Well, the people who are going through hell know something's there, and most of these people want it gone. They don't want to keep going through, especially if it's at the point where you're going to call someone and you're going to ask someone to come into your personal residence.
Right.
It's already at the point where you want it, want it dissipated. They really need to think about that sort of stuff when they're out there investigating.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Cheryl, nope, we're not hearing anything yet. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm telling her to yell.
That's why we're still yakking away. Yes, we hijacked the show, not on purpose.
No, it was an accident this time. Yeah.
Well, it's blog. We've had everything in the world happen to us, so we get it. We've been there.
Yeah.
We understand.
Crying. Oh, my gosh.
I know. Nothing like being blocked out of your own show. That's like a nightmare, number one.
Yep, we hijacked a show tonight. Isn't that awful? So we didn't get enough done last night. We had to finish tonight.
Yeah. I think this would be a great time for Jerry to explain her books, because I believe in these books. Nobody was out to be to write the next best number one selling novel. Jerry was out to help people, and I want you to explain what your books do, because I think they serve an awesome purpose. Well,
the thing about me is I have the patience of a 3-year-old, and no, not the IQ. Thank God, that would be my husband. Anyways, I want to start writing a book, and I want to cram everything into the book, except I'm impatient. And I'll end up saying, okay, that's it, that's enough. And then I'll have people say, Jerry, the Empath Handbook helped me. Where's the rest of it? And I'll say, well, I'm doing part 2, but, actually I'm not. I'm writing another book right now. But, that's another story, ADD. But I was writing Empath Handbook 2, and it was more entailed, more detailed. It was the second step up for people, and I know I need to do this. But I do try to write books about my life, and people are always saying, I read, Living Psychic, and then I read the Empath Handbook, and then I read Angels All Around. Did you really live through all of that? How can anyone live?
Jerry. Oh, no. Oh, no. Jerry. Oh, no. Help.
What was the first book?
Okay. Oh, there she is. Oh,
all right.
Oh, I lost you. Okay, you just set off my pacemaker. Thank you. All right.
I don't have one, and mine's going off. No.
Okay. I'm like, because I didn't know if I'm talking or are you talking or is anybody hearing us at all.
I don't know who's talking anymore. I'm sitting here staring at a computer screen wondering what the hell is going on with this show tonight. It's hot in here.
Oh, God. I'm
pretty sure that we just talked to the host of another show, not this one.
No.
It's just
I don't know.
strange.
If we're still on. Cheryl, are we still on?
Hi.
Let us know in chat. I don't know.
Are you there? Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
It's a miracle.
Well, awesome. I mean,
Welcome to Paranormal Angels with Beyond Paranormal with Cheryl's guests today.
They got their show back. Yay!
Yay!
Sort of glitch with the switch over when we lost you, and it just did not want to come back through. We had to call back in like 4 or 5 times.
I'll accept the first blame. Properly now.
Oh.
With the internet off.
So he shut the switch off, and then because he couldn't get Netflix to load. So.
Oh no! Oh no!
Just put your feet up and enjoy the show. We'll just
I know, right?
keep on talking. Oh God! Oh, that's got to be a very scary feeling. Sorry, guys.
Oh my God!
You were talking about your first book, An Empath's Handbook.
Yes, and then I did Angels All Around, which was kind of, the ending part of a life story. Not ending. I'm not dead yet, people. But it was toward the end of living with a gift and trying to be the cure-all for relationship that was from hell, and seeing, as I went on, that I needed a little bit more than I had to get out of it. And then there was a little divine intervention. And this is why I am a firm believer in my faith. And I also know that angels are real, earth angels are real, and we get help in times of, extreme duress. And I have had it. I've witnessed it. You can't tell me anything else. You can't change my mind about God. I'm solid there because I've seen it. I've experienced it.
Me too. Definitely, angels with this when we need them. No
now,
question
ladies, we
about
have a caller, Sean, that has some questions for you if you're open to take questions.
Sure.
Sean, are you there?
Maybe he's there, maybe he's not.
Sean, are you
Can
there?
you hear me?
Yes.
I'm still
Hi,
here.
how are you?
Hello. I'm good. Hi.
You have some questions for Jerry
Yes.
or Marsha?
I do. I was sitting here listening to the show on my laptop and on the phone, and I hear about you guys saying angels all around us. Now, my question is, I'm kind of curious about something. Today's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you. In 1985, my grandfather had passed away on my birthday.
Oh.
So 29 years date today. So I'm just wondering, and I went to see him today, his grave and his stone, and I talked with him and everything.
Oh.
Is he an angel? I mean, is he with me as an angel, or this is hard to explain, but
I know exactly what you
me
mean.
Now, Jerry's better
What's that?
one to ask. I mean, I do believe our relatives, when we need them, come to us.
Yes.
But Jerry can tell you if she actually sees him or feels him around you now.
Actually, well, let me just let me step out into the air for a second. Well, let me explain this first the best way I can. A lot of people say, well, my passed over relative is an angel and they're watching over me. And I don't believe that all human spirits, everyone down here has a different purpose, a different job in the body of Christ. Not all of them are angels.
Right.
So it really doesn't work like that, but can they see you? Yes. Can he see you kneel down and tell him that, you're the biggest influence in my life and you were there for me and you are the reason that I, actually have emotion. Unlike other people, I am the way I am because of, what I mean? They see us doing these sort of things.
Right.
And he can come out, the energy can come out and it can go back in. He is in a better place. He is in a brighter place. You have brightness all around you. You have more than one spirit around you. You have a female spirit around you also.
Went and, my Aunt Gail had passed away, too, and I talked to her today, too, at the graveyard.
Okay,
my whole
good.
family was buried in one graveyard.
Okay, yes, because you have the female. And these people, they'll come through, and they try to comfort you and try to tell you, things get tough sometimes, and you feel like giving up, and you feel like you're alone, but you're not alone, and you are on the right path. You're doing things the way you're supposed to be doing them. So they're basically coming in and out to study you, to keep your mood from going too far one way or the other. So you have a lot of help around you. You have a lot of security, a lot of hands reaching out to you. You're very loved.
Energy, yeah.
Yes, you're very loved.
You know, let me say one thing that we warn people on our show, please. We can keep our loved ones with us just through will. I need you, I need you, I need you. Stay. We don't want to do that. We want to allow them to go back and come back to us when we need them. They'll give us a little comfort, maybe some advice in a dream or whatever. But don't make them stay. Let them be free to go back to God, to go back wherever they were and be, you know, who they're supposed to be and where they're supposed to be. Because if we continually say, I can't live without you, you have to be here, they will stay. And your mom, your dad, your grandfather, aunt, whoever you were close to will stay with you. And that's not, we just don't feel that's really the best for either one of you. So everybody has to be strong. But it sounds like what you're doing is a very sweet thing, very nice thing.
Well, I try to go every year around August 21st because, like I said, that was the day that my grandpa had passed away. And I put up a video on Facebook and a song dedicated to him. And I was just hoping that he heard me, he's seen that. And
of course.
I know it's been a couple of years since I've been there.
There's no sense of time on the other side. People always think just because human beings in the flesh, spirit and flesh, see the way we do, there's no, time thing. So when you put the music up, it could have been after you visited or before you visit. It doesn't matter. It's already in existence there. You know what I'm saying to you? So, yes, he's already been aware that you're playing a song for him and that you're honoring him. He's already aware.
I was hoping that, that because I talk to him all the time, and I'm hoping that maybe someday I can hear him or have him or something. I just feel like I'm not doing enough to keep him in mind and keep remembering him, but yet I think about him every day.
Well, you really are, but here's the catch, okay? Sometimes when they want you to be a little stronger and they want you to stand a little more firm on your own, they're not going to, let's say, baby you to the point of where they're going to say, okay, here's my voice. I was 14 when the man that raised me as his daughter had passed on, and I did not, being a medium, you would think I would hear him, see him, communicate with him, nothing at all. And I've been through some very hard times, and not once did I get to speak with him. And then a year ago, out of nowhere, there it was. And he said my name and said, Trinket, be careful the last step. And I almost fell off the step. It was the same day that Marcia said, Jerry, if you're going down the stairs today, watch what you're doing. So, yeah, it was that day. And it sometimes, and, I had the same thing with him. I relied on him, his memory. He gave me, the confidence to be myself. He believed in me. He loved me. And I really just wanted to, So I really wanted to hear from him, and I didn't get to for a very long time. But then finally there it was.
Yeah.
I just think that's awesome. I love hearing those stories where people say, Mom came back or Dad or Grandma or whoever it is that you were close to. I have
just because you're not hearing their voices doesn't mean that their presence isn't with you. I just want people to know that a lot of people do this to me. They're like, I was real close to my mom or dad, and they never communicate with me. Well, they communicate in different ways. They don't always use words. They don't always do that. So you're going to feel them around you, or you're going to remember out of nowhere. You could be doing something entirely different, and then remember something you did with them. That's them speaking to you.
Yeah.
You just never know. I mean, it could be their favorite scent. If your mom or aunt or someone had a favorite perfume that they used, it could be something like that. I sent a rosary to a friend of mine one time. I design and make rosaries. And so I sent her one. She was kind of down, having some health problems. So, but I also added in it smells like roses. It's a rosewood. It wasn't one I made. This isn't one I made, but this was one I bought, and I knew she loved roses. So I sent that to her, and she said the minute she opened the package, she smelled roses. Well, I didn't know it, but it had come to her on her mom's birthday. Her mom is gone, of course, passed a long time ago, and her mom loved roses. And so that almost kind of creeped me out that I did that, the timing of it, but it was a sweet thing.
That's how God uses us. That's what he does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I did. I even said a little thank you, because when he allows me to do things like this for people, I just, that's a great gift. To me, I get the gift of somebody being happy. And God told me or showed me or pushed me, and it happens all the time. There'll be a certain somebody who will pop up. Jerry knows. I say, I got to send them a rosary. Find their address for me. Because it just, the push, I feel, that familiar push that person has to have a rosary. Ad's used to it now. He doesn't even question it. Oh, okay, there goes another rosary. And I've got, mail stacked up. Someone is in need of a little comfort. So that kind of thing. But Jerry's right. They'll find a way to let you know who they are, who's there.
Yeah, well, and I can attest to that. My brother, a while ago, he has a scent that he used since he was a teenager, and we know that scent, and nobody else wears it. And every once in a while, it'll come through the house right by you, and just pass through you, and we just know that he's there.
That's neat.
Yeah,
beautiful.
We've had a lot of weird stories.
I was hoping to hear something like that because it's been a couple of years since I've been up there. I kind of had never got the chance to get there when I wanted to. So this year, and I was hoping that he saw me. He's not mad because I haven't been there a couple of years because generally I go every year. But you know what,
sweetie? Let me tell you this for a fact, and this is
time.
What I do know.
No, yeah.
He is not on your time. He's in a different place. But you don't need to go there. You're going there is a sign of respect and to show him respect. But he can visit you anytime, and
right
anywhere.
Where you are.
Anywhere you are.
Right.
Okay.
So remember
and then, like Jerry said,
that.
time is different. They don't.
Yeah.
It's not our time. So it could be a minute to them. We don't know. I've never been there. Well, I've been there, but I don't remember it. So I'm not. I don't know if anybody really knows what it is. But for some reason, we just all are very sure of that. It's not our time. So.
Well, I'm glad that he can still hear me and see me, and he knows and acknowledges me that, I keep going to visit him and everything, and so I'm so glad of that point, and then that you ladies have helped me out quite a bit with that.
Well, here's the synchronicity. The synchronicity is you're listening to this show tonight, and it's your birthday, and you were there. We're all talking about him and telling you about time and that he's around you. So this is all part of God's plan as confirmation to you that he is always around you. So you need to keep that in your heart and know that you're not alone.
Yes, I'm so glad. And I'm so glad I called in to talk to you guys.
Nice talking
you guys are great.
You're awesome.
Well, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. God bless.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Have a happy birthday.
I know Sean. He wants one of my Siamese kittens.
Aw, how sweet.
Don't you just love people like that?
I do. I love a good heart.
Yes.
It's my birthday. I'm going to call in, and I'm like, so when our producer just said, Sean's on the line, and I said, oh, it must be Sean, so-and-so, and so.
Oh.
Yeah. See, more synchronicities. The angels are speaking tonight.
Yeah. We've had that going on. Some really...
And like Ben just said, it's none of us are ever really alone, and I always talk over him.
I think the phone mutes when I talk. It's so hard competing with you girls. I'm like having a losing battle here.
Yeah, that's what females do, though. Hello.
We've been told that a couple of times. I don't know why.
Call in and we can talk about cars.
Oh, God, this sure beats what I hear at my house. It's motorcycle. I'd much rather talk about cars.
Yeah.
Now, going back a little bit, because I kind of want to just, get a little bit of clarification, and not necessarily my point of view, but just for everybody out there. Angels, typically, when people think of angels, they think of halo, wings on their back, birds.
Right. And some do have wings. Many do. But I don't know about the halo.
If you've
but
read
maybe
the ancient
aura.
scripts of the Bible, you'll understand that there are different ranks of angels, and there's different,
Right.
Let's say it's like a military. There are some that walk around looking just like you and me, and there are some that look like, holy cow, you couldn't even put it into words what they look like.
Well, take Michael, for instance. He has something in the neighborhood of 340 some odd wings because he's like the top guy. And the lower they go, the less wings they have. And it's hard for us to picture because, no, they don't look like humans, not those angels.
Well,
but, but there are angels walking around, earthbound angels. There are earth angels, which we like to call just everyday people whose heart and intent is there to help others. And they just go out of their way. It's just part of who they are. And we try to honor them. But there will be, a really good, few months ago, I got double pneumonia and sepsis and didn't even know I was sick. And they rushed me to the hospital. And I was very, very sick. They really told my family got about a 40% chance of walking out of here. And my husband fell asleep in the chair next to my bed, and I'm wide awake. I'm just freaking out, thinking, how can I be this sick? I don't feel sick. How can I be this sick? And it just made no sense to me. And I felt someone take my hand on the left side of the bed, and I turned over, and there's this young man with the kindest blue eyes I've ever seen in my life. I couldn't take my eyes off his eyes. And he, very kind face, I just felt very comforted. And he said, I know everyone's telling you that you're very ill and that you might die. He said, you're not. You're going to be just fine. And I turned over to say, Ed, did you see this? Now, I'm right by the door, so there's no way this person could have gotten out without me seeing him. And Ed's sound asleep, of course. I have no validation. Great. And I turn around, and he's gone. So I asked all the nurses, who was that? And I described him. He had red hair. I mean, he was very descriptive looking, so he would have stood out. And they said, no one like that works the night shift here. So I'm like, okie dokie. And the next morning they come in, they take my vitals. They're all normal. I'm already, fever's gone, everything's normal, lungs are clear, and they kept me for a couple extra days because they didn't believe it. This is impossible. This doesn't happen. But did. And so I think a lot of us can tell those stories if we're aware of it. We may just think it's just coincidence or one of those things, but I believe it. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. That's, it's just one of those things. Once you experience it, you never forget. And it's
speaking of drapes, my kitten just went right up them.
Oh,
your cat too? Okay, well, my drapes are on the floor, so my husband's already said, cat's going. Oh, she won't. He won't give her away, but,
It says, we got a kitten and named her Angel. Today she took down the drapes, and Ben joked, she's just trying to get to a higher place. And then my cat
that's
went,
so cute.
Right up the drapes.
Yep. She is a brat, but she tries to beat up the dog, and it's just weird. I have a Shih Tzu, And the Shih Tzu is one of the kindest, gentlest dogs in the world. She loves everybody and loves cats as a rule. But she's not real fond of this one because this one's still in the kitten stage and wants to attack and, do all the weird things that cats do. And the dog looks at me like, Mom, stop her. She's irritating me.
I have 3 dogs. I have 2 small Maltese and then I have a lab. And the kitten did not like the dogs at first. But, now she'll sit there. They kiss each other. They clean each other. They'll sleep next to each other.
That's so
They run
cute.
roll around on the floor together. They've kind of learned to cohabitate. And Ben's laughing because I opened the window.
Ours are getting there, but
moth came in, so she's bouncing off the walls right now, trying to get the darn moth.
Aw, a little less catnip there for the little kitty.
Oh, moth?
It's so much better.
Yeah, they like cat mint. Doesn't make them so crazy.
Some friends of ours came to visit a few weeks ago, and they brought their little Chihuahua. And the Chihuahua and the cat, instant love. You couldn't separate them. They played together. They ran all over the house together. They slept together. And when my friends left, this cat really went into kind of a depression. She's going from room to room wondering where her friend is. But it was cute to watch because they're about the same size. So the Shih Tzu is fat. So I'm not supposed to call her that, but, yeah, she could lose a few ounces. And, the cat just thinks it's great fun to jump on top of her while she's sleeping. Dog, not real fond of that.
Yeah, my cat just went right up Ben's leg. Is chasing the moth. If you heard him squeal out again. I'm going to have to kick her out. Now, Marcia, you were saying that you make homemade rosaries. Can you tell us a little bit about that, how you started doing that, what you make them out of?
Well, I really started because I did jewelry. I love to find old jewelry and make it new again. So it was just sort of a hobby and something I enjoyed doing. And my husband, Catholic, and he prays the rosary almost every night before he goes to sleep. But he also has arthritis. So the rosaries typically are tiny. The beads are tiny. And it was becoming very difficult for him to pray the rosary. So I made him one. I ordered beads in a very large size, and I made him one. And he loved it. Well, then another family member saw it, and they wanted one, and friends saw it, and they wanted one. And I would make one occasionally and order beads to whatever that person wanted. Never dawned on me to go much further, but then all of a sudden, I swear this is true, designs just started popping into my head faster than I could make them. And I couldn't order beads fast enough. I was obsessed. And I would be doing this almost around the clock. And I had to get these rosaries made. It's all I knew. I had to get them done. And the person that needed them would present itself. And they always do. So, yeah, I do have some website for sale on eBay, but honestly, I give more away than I sell. It's more to, my husband always says, you don't choose the rosary chooses you.
Right.
And there's always something comes up where somebody makes themselves known. And I sent one to a woman a couple of years ago who had lost her son. And what I didn't know was she had also lost her faith. She was a little bit mad at God for taking her only child from her and not dealing with it that well. I didn't know any of this. So I, again, had that little push, that familiar feel that, yes, I have to send this woman the rosary and it's going to be pink. And so I ordered rose quartz and just the designs just are there. I don't know how to explain it. It's just I see a picture, sort of. And I sent it to her. And about a week later, she called me. and she was kind of crying a little bit, and I thought, uh-oh, I insulted her. You have to be kind of careful. I mean, I send rosaries to more non-Catholics than Catholics because I like to call them prayer beads, comfort beads, call them whatever you wish. And she said to me, for the first time in 2 years, she prayed as soon as she touched it. And she said for the first time she went to church that Sunday. And we're not, we don't push the organized religion thing. We really like to call ourselves spiritual. But I think if that's what she needed, if that's what gave her comfort, I was so happy that, the powers that be let me in on this, and they let me be a part of it. So to me, it's awesome. But it's all just very clear. I don't know how to explain it. This person has to have a rosary, and Ed's just so used to it now. He'll say, I have to get the address, right? And I shake my head. He goes, okay, another rosary going out. And
do you ever make beads or roll them out of rose petals? I've heard a lot of people now are sending out flowers from caskets and such, and having them turned into rosaries. Is that something that you do?
I don't, but I did get the instructions on how to do that. I thought, what a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And I haven't actually tried it. It's a very, very, it takes a long time. Yeah, they have to dry in between each stage, and it takes like 30 days, I think, before they're in the form of a bead. It's either 45 or 30 days. It's a very long, tedious process, but I still would like to learn because I think there's always that occasion where it was a very special loved one and the roses from whatever, whether it be a wedding or an anniversary or the passing of one, the flowers. So, I find that very touching. So, yeah, one of these days I'm going to actually spend the time and go through the process and learn how to do it because I think it's very, very personal, how that's a very beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't even really think of a wedding one. That would be the flowers. But
there are wedding rosaries. Mm-hmm. I've done that.
It would be done a little bit quicker with the petals because they dry out so quick.
Mm-hmm.
You have to put them in
I don't remember exactly, but I know you have to first dry them out, and then you have to actually get them wet again in the solution and roll them and then dry them out again. And it's a whole long of getting it moist and then dry, moist and dry until it's hard enough to be able to make into a bead, to sustain beading, which would mean putting a hole in it and being able to thread metal through it. So, I just think it's a really nice thing. So one of these days I will spend the time and teach myself. I've got the instructions around here somewhere. I'll get them out and do it because what a gift to give someone. I think that would be about as special as it gets.
Goodness. For anybody that's listening, we are still talking with Geraldine Bouse and Marcia Becker, also known as the Paranormal Angels. If you have any questions, you want to talk to these lovely ladies, our number is 818-431-8214. We'll continue to talk until about 10 o'clock. We've had lots of good things going on, talking about spirits and angels and the rosaries and past loved ones and lots of different things, and they had a whole conversation of their own when we lost contact.
Yes, we did. We kept it going.
I hope you enjoyed our lovely co-hosts on the evening.
Hey.
The show tonight because Ben and I can't get a word in edgewise. They're just great.
We're used to doing this. Our producer, Mr. Best-selling author Edwin F. Becker says, Jerry, when you're doing radio, you count to 3, too much time has passed. You need to keep it going. 1, 2, 3, that's the rule. So if I know he's listening and more than 3 seconds has passed and I'm not talking, I start to choke on my own saliva. Like,
but we can hear his voice going.
He's haunting.
Dead air.
He really is. He is a haunting man.
Yes, yes.
Jerry, what is this thing that you have done? Oh, Lord.
Yes, and that's kind of like a rule for me, too. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, where did that note go in front of me? And then I realize, oh, shoot, I'm on air. Or sometimes it just makes a funny sound, and it's like, hello? Hello? Are you still there? Oh, you're still there. Good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we know what you're talking about.
It's a lot different when you're over the phone and you're not in an actual studio. You know, and you can't see the expressions, and you can't see me flailing my arms around when I'm talking because I'm very physical, I guess, when I talk. Ben was just saying to me that I move my hands around and my expressions and everything when I talk.
Well,
me too.
Yeah, I do too. Especially with some of our guests, I'm throwing my hands around. I'm like, what? What do you say? What?
They just said, what? Oh, my God.
What did you just say? You did not. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. But, you know, I do have to, I really, if anyone, you know, I always forget that, you know, my husband is, like, more popular than I am. And he, if anyone does, you know, want the book, not only can they get them on Amazon, but you can go to www.truehaunting.com. It has its very own website. Isn't that cool? We have a daughter that is very talented, and she does all these pretty websites for us, and so we're very, very lucky that way.
Yeah, we're still trying to build up our website so it's what we want it to be. I've gone back and forth with it. I've uploaded it, I've taken it down, uploaded it, taken it down, because I'm just not a website person. That's Ben, but he's usually gone on the ship. But maybe that could be a challenge for you to do, honey, since you're going to be out on knee surgery.
Keep him working. That's right.
Yep.
It's
on the air. We heard it. So I'm stuck now.
No.
Yep. Poor Ben tore his knee again, so he's going to be having surgery on September 4th. So everybody,
owie.
Prayer for my hubby.
Yeah, I had that last year. He had knee surgery. Had a calcium deposit. It's the biggest they've ever seen. It was like a second knee. It was getting huge, and he couldn't bend anymore and on his knees, so he had to go have surgery. And I think it was about it was a good month, 4 or 5 weeks of him being in a wheelchair, and he couldn't, you know, bend it at all. So that was fun. He's 6'3", and I'm 4'11". That says it all.
That's
yeah, well, I'm sure you'll never hear me say,
no
Marcia,
video
reach something
cameras
for me.
That's when you cut the half inches. See, I'm only 5'4", so I would cut the half. And I actually went to the doctors this time, and they told me, when I went to my physical, they told me I was 5'5". So apparently I'm 5'5" now. I grew an inch this year.
Hey, it happens.
It does happen.
Grew up after a certain point, but apparently I grew up a little bit.
No, 2 years ago, this is the truth, I freaked out. Okay, I used to be 5 foot tall. Okay, 2 years ago, they did my height thing, and, I mean, I have no osteoporosis. I have none of that, so nobody could figure it out other than possibly a crushed spine or something. But I went down to 4'11" and 4'9.5". Well, yeah, this is not happening. So I started doing
shrinking
these,
woman.
Yeah, the shrinking woman. I started doing these stretching exercises, and about maybe 2 months later, went back to the doc, and I asked the nurse, I said, do me a favor, you know, measure my height. And she did, and she said, you're slightly over 4'11". I went, yes! And I'm going down the hall, and people are looking at me like, who is this very strange little person going, yes? And they couldn't figure it out. So the doctor, he said, what's going on today, Marcia? And I said, well, I'm now officially 4'11". And I was 4'9", and he looked at my chart, and he says it was 4'9.5". He said, that's impossible. I said, well, it's right there. Your nurse just did. And so he made them measure me in front of him. because he said it's impossible. But I'm here to tell you it's not. You can do stretching exercises and get some back. You can still grow. So there.
I try never to grow up, because if I do, it won't be fun anymore.
That's right. Don't do
Ben
it.
and I have always been the same exact height. I didn't even wear high heels to our wedding. I actually just wore like a very, very tiny little chunk on the back of my shoe, because I was going to be taller than him in all of our pictures.
Aw, that's so cute, though.
I am a huge fan of pretty shoes and high heels.
Aww.
So I get really, like, shy when we go out and I'm, like, towering over him. But it was fun.
Aww.
He came home from his
I don't
physical.
mind that, though. It's more fun to dance with a girl that's taller than you.
Oh, only because you're better level. Hoping you curve. But he was all excited. He came home. He's like, you'll never believe it. He's like, the nurse told me I was like an inch taller. I'm like, you're still the same exact height as me. She had to have measured wrong, or you were still in your shoes.
No, it does happen. It does. I grew at
really
35.
Does.
I was 5'4" my whole life. At 35, they measured me. They're like, you're 5'5" and a quarter. And I'm like, shut up. No, I'm not. Not that it's that big of a deal, you know, because I still can't eat like a pig and not be fat. So, you know, if I grew to be 6'2", I'd be like, yeah, right, I can pack in the food now. But no.
Now, I'm coming back next time tall. And you know what the sad thing is? We have this friend that likes, her specialty is telling you about your past lives. So she's telling me what she's seeing, and I was this and that. I was nobody special ever. You know, no queen, no nothing, just boring old whatever. And she said, but you were always short. I said, that's not fair. That's not fair.
How much
Next
you're
time.
short if you're trying the quarter inches?
Well, next time I want to be, I don't know, what's a good size woman? Like 5'7" or...
Oh, yeah. It's overrated.
I always love it when I hear somebody say when they tell me how tall they are, because you can tell if they consider themselves short, because you'll see them say something like, I'm 5'4" and a quarter inch.
You know it. 5'5" and a quarter. Hey, that's right.
For license, please. That quarter inch means a lot to me.
Yes, it does.
In Ben's family, he has some of his great-grandparents were over 6 feet tall, but some of the women were under 5 feet tall. So in between, you know, his father and his grandfather were shorter men. But some of the people in the family have been, you know, like 5'8", 5'9", you know, and here Ben and I are both 5'4", and my daughter's a fashion addict. Beautiful girl, so photogenic, and she's such a little, and she's almost our height now, and she's like, please, Mom, just please tell me I'm going to grow more.
Yeah, I remember those days. I remember, you can't be a model because models are taller, and they're a little thinner than you. And I'm like, but I'm really not that fat.
She wants to run her own line.
Sorry.
She would love to do high fashion runways. She's never going to get the hype. So bad.
No, what if she shoots up 6 feet?
She won't.
I have 4 granddaughters.
Yeah, is it right to have to look up to your kids? No, I don't think so. She's going to be short.
And my son is such a ladies' man. He's, you know, going to be 8 years old. The cutest little guy.
Aww.
You know, all the girls in his class.
Where are the hand quotes for that?
All the girls in his class flock all around him. You know, and we go out and we go to a wedding, and he's the little boy at the bar, you know, sitting flirting with the waitress behind the bar. And do you want a cupcake? Shirley Temple. And poor kids. He's probably going to be a tiny little thing.
Oh, it doesn't matter if he's cute. Doesn't matter.
That's right.
He got more than I ever did, so I think he's doing all right.
Geraldine just had her first grandbaby. You must tell everyone about this gorgeous child.
Oh, God. He's beautiful. But you know what? I'm partial. He's my grandson, but he has the darkest blue eyes.
Yeah.
He is so cute, and he's just so happy. He's starting to smile now and notice faces and notice little things near him. So he was playing with his little, what do they call the little carousel things? I forgot what mobiles. He was playing with the mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was hitting it, and he thought it was going to hit him back. So every time he hit it and it moved, he scrunched his little face up and closed his eyes. It was so cute.
Aw.
I love him.
Well,
I don't think he's going to be very tall either, even though my son's 6'2". He's a little guy, maybe. I don't know.
Your son's 6'2"? Wow.
Oh, yeah, he's 6'2". Michael's 6'2". My other son, he's 6'1". I have tall boys. I don't know. They didn't get it from their dad because Mike, my ex, he is about 5'4", and I'm 5'5" and a quarter then. And yeah, they didn't get their height. I think they get it from my dad. My dad's 6'3". Well, he was until he shrank, and that's what he gets. But whatever.
Oh, they can go down the line. Cat, get out of my ice water. They my girls already. One, you've seen her, Leanne. She's very tall, model tall.
Adorable.
And all legs. Beautiful, beautiful blue-eyed blonde. She's so pretty. And her sister is my clone. Poor baby. She looks like me. She's a beautiful young lady. But they all come, when they come over here, first thing they do is measure themselves against me. So they all want to be taller. Now, 2 of them have made it. Even my clone is like about a half an inch taller than I am now. So she's finally taller. The 6-year-old has a way to go. So I'm not worried about that.
No.
Yeah.
It won't take long.
No, but they, it's so funny. Girls want to be tall. Used to be girls wanted to be short. Now girls want to be tall. And I don't blame them because you can't buy clothes when you're this short. Everything has to be hemmed, and then by the time you hem, everything looks like a bell bottom. It's just taken off so much material that it no longer resembles, a bootleg or something in your jeans. It's awful.
I miss bell bottoms. They were cute. Whatever.
Oh God, they're ugly.
They were cute. Not that I would do the hip hugger thing at my age this day, and I wouldn't. I've seen it, girls at Walmart, with the really low belly cut. And I'm like, jeez. I remember that belly.
We'll pull it off. You got it.
You don't even want to get into Walmart.
Oh, God, let's do Walmart. Come on. I have seen the most incredible outfits already this summer that you could even conceive of. Yeah.
Pajamas. Yeah.
Have you seen the shorts that are the size of bikini bottoms, and their bottoms are hanging out the bottoms of the...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're very special, yes.
I've told my daughters if I ever catch you putting something like that on, I will slap.
Special. I was special my whole life.
That's a different
bad. I never let my daughter do that, but my daughter was always a tomboy. She's like, I'm not wearing that. Would you buy that for? I don't wear dresses. She still is, too.
I had one of each. I had a girly girl and a tomboy, so I had one of each.
I got one of my daughters. She likes to wear dresses, but she's more of a boy than she acts like a boy. That's the best way. She'll climb a tree, but she wants to wear a pretty dress.
See, I was like that. I was that girl. Want to climb a tree? Want to hunt deer? Want to do my nails? Put my dress on and go out to dinner now.
Well, hey. Well, I played baseball, out in the street with the kids in the good old days where you could go out in the street and play baseball, and you didn't have to worry about coming in. Your parents said just be home by dark. Nope. That's not the case anymore. It's like, carry this thing on you so I know where you are at all times. Be back here in 1.2 minutes, and it's scary nowadays. I'm glad my teenagers. I don't envy you parents that your kids are just starting. My oldest will start driving next year, and that just puts fear into my heart. Oh no, I don't want her to drive. It's too scary out there.
No,
but wait.
Drive down the road and you'd see kid after kid playing, and now you look out the windows and everybody's inside. you hardly see anybody around anymore outside playing for kids.
I
know. It's a strange day and age, that's for sure.
I don't like it.
I think there was the end of the world they were saying was going to be by a little black box. Wasn't that what the coming of the end of the world was? The black box. Who was that? I forget who said that. It was an author. The end of the world.
No, I don't.
And they
I don't know, but they probably aren't too far off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
it was in there. They used it was the same symbolism they used in the Planet of the Apes movie with the black cube in the middle of the field. But that was basically the symbol of the end of humanity. And I think they're looking at it. And you look around, and everybody's got a phone, a little black phone sitting up next to their face.
You know what? You're right. You're giving me goosebumps. Oh, Lord.
Oh.
See? Isn't that funny?
It is creepy.
Everybody's walking around in a trance.
Yeah, they are. They've been brainwashed, you know. They really have. And I'm not just talking about sonic warfare. I'm talking about the stuff they spray on you. And you combine that with the television set subliminal messaging that you're getting with commercials and even programs and movies. Oh, especially the movies. I mean, everyone's dummied down. Everyone who they can get to has been gotten to. And I don't care if it sounds like a conspiracy theory. I know what I see. People are just not right anymore. Something has happened to their minds. It's awful.
Chemtrails.
I would get into that part, but
me too. But that would take a whole. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm very stubborn on my views, so I try not to get into them because I don't want to offend anyone with anything I say. So
people should at least have enough of an open mind to listen to your point of view without being offended.
Exactly.
That's the kind of person to strive for being in life, and that's what I tell all the people that I deal with, my friends and people that I work with, clients. If you disagree with each other, that's fine, but you should at least allow each other to voice an opinion. It's a sad day when you can't learn something new, and they may be right where you're a little off.
Well, Ed's favorite saying is if two people in the room completely agree with each other, one's unnecessary. So he's got a good point. Yeah. Well, he doesn't mean it like that. Not
you don't mess around with Edwin Becker, okay? You just don't do it.
But really do listen. I mean, look how much we've learned from some of our guests. I mean, it's been it's been amazing about reincarnation and dreams and all kinds of stuff that no one person knows at all, and it's great to hear other people's. But chemtrails is something I know that's what made me sick. I used to tell Geraldine I would sit outside on my porch, my favorite place to be, which I rarely do anymore. But I would sit outside. My birds were out there. Well, last summer, there'd be one dead bird, and then another dead bird, and another one. And I was getting completely freaked out because what's happening to my birds. And I feed the birds all the time and talk to them, and they're, flying around me, and I'm outside having coffee. And I'm looking up, noticing all this crisscross going on up in the sky above me. And Ed says, yeah, they're dropping chemicals. These are big cargo planes, and they've got these huge tanks attached to them, and they're dropping these chemicals. And sure enough, a few months later, I got double pneumonia and sepsis, and I didn't even know I was sick. And this was in August. This was early September. So who gets, that in September? Here in Missouri,
you have to look at the increase in all the people who are diagnosed with autoimmune diseases all of a sudden.
Yes.
And it's so common now. In our area, my doctor told me this. I just went to see her. I was diagnosed with lupus to top off my MS. And I went to see a doctor, and she said, we've had 3,000 new patients just this year. 3,000 people? Are you kidding me? What the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
It's bad.
Well,
it's really bad.
You've got a lot of hormones that are added to foods.
Yes.
And also the allergies are going up through the roof because kids don't play outside anymore, so they don't build up that immunity. They don't build up an immunity to the average things. And then to top it off, you're giving higher and higher powerful medications to combat simple things, and you're making strains of viruses.
Overstimulate your immune system, yeah.
Exactly.
But see, the thing about this is they can date lesions. I guess I had the MS The oldest they can date, I think, was 24 years, and mine was even deeper than that. So she's like 27 years. So what was I exposed to as a child? And all I can think of are the vaccinations. And I was just too little for maybe one of the vaccines, and my immune system just did not handle it well. And I'll tell you something, okay? I was a very healthy child, but I started having, like, really strange things, and I always knew something was wrong. I always knew. But now you've got articles in the newspaper where they've buried Agent Orange in the land all around where the area we live, and it seeped into the soil, seeped into the water. We all have wells here, you know?
Right.
So I'm always thinking, what is the point of this? Why would they want to kill all their people? I mean, it makes no sense to me. We keep them in business. I mean, we keep them fed and fat. Why would they want to kill everyone? They don't want to kill everyone. They want to kill people who don't serve their plan. And I'm sure I'm on the top 10 list of I don't serve their plan. I can guarantee that.
Exactly. And it's very frightening. It's
Have you
the
noticed
same,
that
yeah,
all the vaccines gone out lately?
Exactly. Their vaccination. When I went to school, they called it a test high school. They built the school and you had to be of a certain IQ and blah, 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 blah. And they were supposedly testing on how to teach. But all I know is it seemed like every few weeks we were all herded into the cafeteria and be given shots and immunization of some sort, always. And it makes you wonder, like Jerry said, what are they doing to us down the line? 'Cause I have the same thing. I have fibromyalgia. It's like, whoa. Are we still there?
I can't hear anything.
Okay.
I can't hear anything.
I wasn't sure. I got real quiet. I was like, all right, okay, I'm talking to myself.
Express is going by.
But no, every vaccine, it seems, that's gone out lately has...
Hello?
And,
everybody?
No, I think Tiff just muted it for a second. But, my view is that, every vaccine that's gone out has been recalled, and makes me think that...
And the medicines, too. Same thing.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yes. And the side effects.
If everybody out there would just take 5 minutes to try to do something a little bit more natural, herbal maybe, then I think they would be better off because, oh, my God. And you know what? Here, you live in a society where you're made to be depressed. You can't pay everything or you don't eat. You can't eat properly because you don't have the money to. Your bills are exceeding. Your diet is poor. Your kids can't have what you want to give them. And then they tell you don't be depressed, but they're setting you up to be. You go get on medicine for depression. The medicine makes people commit suicide. I mean, you're living, it's just like, are you serious right now? I mean, really?
Yeah,
what kind of world are we living in?
Yeah, it's insane. And you have to look up your side effects. And I have to laugh. I mean, it's not funny. It's just idiots. The side effects are worse than what they're giving me the medication for. Never mind.
Listen, I got to say this because it just kills me when I see it. All right, my uncle is taking chemo. He's 72 years old, and I don't want to gross anybody out, but he's still sexually active, okay? This kills me, all right? I'm watching these commercials on TV for Enzyte and for all the other, other things, I don't know what the other ones' names are. I used to know. I forgot. I guess I don't study male enhancement tools that much, but I'm watching, and you see the commercial for these guys. These guys on these commercials are in their late 30s, early 40s.
I know.
And I'm like,
come
dude,
on.
What are you trying to do to people's minds? Seriously?
Exactly.
And they make this one called Extends. What kind of subliminal message do you think they're giving men out there? Okay, I mean, it's
they're giving men heart attacks.
Is
what they're giving them. So yeah.
Exactly. It's a heart attack waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, oh my God, I can't believe. I just can't. I wake up every day and I'm like, I got to live in this world, Oh Lord.
We don't need that. We already have women.
See, that's the thing, though. A lot of them don't. They're addicted to pornography because that's pushed down their throat. That's another thing. Subliminal messaging makes them like totally perverted, and to think that it's okay to be perverted. It's the newest thing to be is perverted. So they're always, going other places. So, naturally a normal-looking woman is, well, you're not like the one I was just looking at a half an hour ago. It's like, no. By the way,
the thing that gets me is the messages we're giving our children.
Don't bend that way, in case guys are wondering. They just don't. That takes years of practice.
Well, I've got, like I said, I got a 14-year-old granddaughter, and she's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But she has this body image thing going on where I'm fat, and she's not a bit. There's no fat on her.
They do. You see the models on TV weigh about 70 pounds, and they're 8 feet tall. You know what I mean?
It bothers me because, number one, she shouldn't be that concerned. I mean, there seems to me that at 14 she should be more still having fun rather than worried.
Can I
Hi, Ed. I was just told you got put on.
She's talking about our granddaughter. My grandkids go out and they go shopping, and my poor son-in-law, who's a policeman with Branson, has to go with them, and he's always shooing the boys away. Now, she's only a very well-developed 14 going on 15. She looks like she's 18. And I laugh because I went through that with my daughters. They were both beautiful. They were both early developers. And we're at the grocery store recently with the two granddaughters, and it's Marcia in her cart, and then my third youngest granddaughter, and then, of course, my oldest granddaughter, who's gorgeous. And I've got my cane, and the guy who's bagging the groceries, is about, I'm guessing he's a senior in high school, or
he was
possibly
about 16.
He was 16 by ass. He was 18 to 19 years old, and he's giving my granddaughter the eye, and I thought it was a little beyond admiring eye, So I tapped him on the shoulder with my cane, and I said, you give her a look like that again, and I'm going to wrap this around your skull. And
so Ed's no longer allowed to go out with this.
my granddaughter got embarrassed. My first one, my young's laughing her ass off, and then Marcia's mad at me. But I told my son-in-law, now I know, I don't want to go out with them anymore because I'll be in trouble. The girls, you're talking. They're talking about chemtrails, and I just wanted to call in and tell them that, the black helicopters are over my house right now.
Knocking on the door, honey. I can hear them.
Want to get the infrared out. I want you to take some pictures for me tonight. I got some work to do in the morning. Yeah. I
was a little nervous, too, because sometimes I'm a little vocal on my opinions of government things and such, especially with, those, what is it, Ebola or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In Georgia, and now that was supposed to be contained, and now they've found it in California and I believe one other place.
Yep.
So, maybe I panic a little too much. Maybe I think government conspiracy. I definitely vocalized my opinion. But the other day, we have an Air Force base not too far from here, and there's these Air Force choppers circling around.
Yeah.
Right?
Around and around. I'm standing out on the back deck, but then they went up to the next house up the road, and I'm like, what the heck are they doing? And I guess they were just looking for, marijuana plants because we're out in the country. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, there's nothing here.
Or that's their story, and they're sticking to it.
Yeah, that's their story. Watch some Jesse Ventura. Not that I'm, thinking that, I don't agree with Jesse's religious viewpoints, but he has some really good information on a lot of things. And people have tried to smite him and say that now he's an Illuminatist, okay, whatever, because he's put so many of these jerks in the limelight and show what they're up to and what they're doing. But you know what? Here's the beautiful thing. Everyone's so brainwashed, no one even notices. even when it's right in front of their face, it seems like 5 to 10 minutes later, they completely forget what they just saw or were told. They should be screaming in fear right now. And what are they doing? They're going to go back to the television set or their computer and go back into Happy Land and forget about it. And that's why the world's in the condition it's in today, because that's what
our
people
attention span is like 3.5 seconds.
Well, whatever they did to people, it worked. It really did.
Well, I want to congratulate Cheryl and Ben. It's a wonderful program. And Tiffany Beth, the owner, to me, Internet radio is one of the last free frontiers where you can say what you want to say. And I urge everyone to support Internet radio. It is the last free, uncensored frontier. You won't hear about things on the news that you're going to hear about on Internet radio.
Right.
Until that
so I congratulate all.
Well, there might be some that, you have to kind of find your own taste. I mean, there are some that I think go too far, but it's somebody's taste, and they should be allowed. And it's like the old saying goes, I may not agree with you, but I'll fight for you, the right for you to say it. And there's a lot to be said about that, because we're losing our rights. They're chipping away at it. And they've been chipping away at it for years, probably since about the 60s. And we're losing rights, right and left. Ed and I can still remember things that we took for granted. Everybody knew it was just our right for being an American. And now that right's no longer there. Our children don't know the difference. So they still think that all the rights are still in place. They're not. We've lost a lot of them. And so we've got to be really careful about that. And I think we need to be a little more vocal about it to stop letting them take our rights away from us.
Yeah, this is America, and when you're here, you have to realize that America has always worked under the illusion of rights.
Exactly.
It's not as free as you wish. It's free to a point. Everything's free to a point. As long as it's in the greater accordance, then it's acceptable.
I agree.
Witchcraft is what they considered anybody who did herbal medicine back just 5-10 years ago? That was witchcraft. You used
sure. Yeah.
You use botanical herbs. Now it's actually coming out that it's allowed to be covered under health care. So now all of these, I can't think what they call it, holistic healing is now starting to be covered by your own health care. And what is holistic?
But many of them are not FDA approved. So that's kind of the scary part.
It was approved back when we were colonists, and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now they're putting it back. Because why? Because they're going back to the roots, and people want the natural point.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how you girls never let me talk. I finally got my words in, so I can get this one.
It's nice to hear what you sound like.
I know. I wasn't sure. I was going to record my voice and listen to it later. But the other thing, going way, way back, is a statement I wanted to put in there was the fact that you would talk about learning something new every day. Well, it's a waste of a day if you haven't learned anything new, for one.
Right.
And then,
Amen.
And then my other point is that if you have anybody that claims to know all, they usually know less than the average person.
Exactly. I agree with you.
Finally, I got one in there.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you completely. Yeah.
How do you do it?
And it is true, and it's scary. But the thing about Ed had.
Wait. The only person who knows it all is the great seer.
No.
The great seer. Amen. I was just going to say he knows everything.
If you have access to the great
I bet
seer,
you the human race, I'm guessing at times too.
No, I did want to get this in though. Ed had a near fatal, big-time heart attack about 18 years ago, and after his heart attack, I took his 10-page blood test. I got books from the library because we didn't have internet back then, and I took every single test and found should it be higher or lower. And then what natural herb or what anything would make it do that? He went on probably, what, honey, 20, 25 pills? I mean...
At least, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and he was swallowing, all this stuff. But let me tell you, his blood tests from that day, from that on, have been near perfect. And he's still...
Well, 18 years later, I had a heart attack last year, and I actually died. And they zapped me like Frankenstein and brought me back to life. And they made the assumption, they told my family that I was going to need a triple bypass because of my age. And they went ahead and they did the angiogram, and they were just amazed that there was nothing wrong with my arteries whatsoever.
They're clean, right?
Well, yeah, what had caused the heart attack was ventricular tachycardia due to the arrhythmia that I had from damage from 18 years ago. But Marcia kept my arteries clean with, vitamins now that are totally accepted, Q10.
Oh, yeah, now everybody goes, hey, they're good, yeah.
But 18 years ago, my nurses in rehab thought Marcia was like a witch. They did. I told them what I was taking.
It's true.
Basically, their attitude was, well, it won't hurt you, and then they would snicker. And now they're recommending this stuff, and it does work, obviously.
It's amazing what times change. And I think that they're actually trying to pull back into that because they realize that the over-the-counter medications are just getting out of control.
Oh, absolutely.
And the funniest thing is that everybody's had this knowledge forever, and it's just sitting there, and nobody uses it.
Right. No, I can remember my grandmother raised us after my dad died and lived in a tiny, tiny little town. There was probably 100 people. No doctor, of course, no hospital. I mean, when us kids got sick, she was in her kitchen with, pulling stuff off and herbs and this and that, and it was the nastiest stuff you'd ever want to taste. But it cured us. So, I have no idea. I wish she'd written all this down. So I would love to have.
It's amazing what you do. I could go out in my yard and, collect all these different types of herbs, different types of berries and barks. Yeah, if you can identify them, of course, and just the things that help cure, little things like allergies and coughing and sore throats. I mean, if you could use naturally rather than all these, I swear these pills give you more problems than they're worth, and I say this time and time again.
Yes.
My sister came down with, fibromyalgia attacks when she was probably about 20. And they put her on a couple different medications for that because they didn't really know what it was then. And, since then, they had recalled a medication that they had first put her on, and she is with life-threatening illness after illness after illness after illness. I mean, every organ in her body other than her heart and I don't know, her heart's still going, her brain's still going, but everything else has had some sort of attack or disease attack it. I mean, it's been constantly one thing after another, and she's on, tons.
How many people actually, the scary point is, you go out there and you look at the herbal remedies, how many side effects do they have? Not too many. Now, let's go out, and anybody who has just gone out and gotten a prescription, taken it because the doctor said so, how many actual side effects? They're scarier than the symptoms.
Right. Ed and I check ours out. We don't take anything for their word for it. When doctor gives us something new, we research it, and then we decide whether.
Few people know that America is the universal joke as far as taking drugs. People in the UK and in other countries, they think that we're all nuts. Okay, when we can buy an allergy medication that will make our kidneys fail, they think that we're nuts. Who the hell would do that? Only in America. To get an erection, you can get a heart attack.
Yeah.
Who would do? That's
is
kind
it
of
worth
nuts.
going blind, people? Let me just ask you. Come on.
Well,
it might be worth
it depends on your age, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I've heard this from my husband when they said the warning was, not being able to see straight and having an erection for more than 4 hours. He just looks over at me, and I'm just like, please just look the other way. Don't even think about it.
That was normal.
Don't even think about it.
Well, they don't report the heart attacks. The heart attacks are common, very common, because anything that reroutes your bloodstream it becomes dangerous if you have a weak heart.
Yep.
Holistic things now because I'm very anti-medication. I've seen what it does to people. I've seen my sister, and I really, really feel like it's deteriorated her. My daughter has horrible allergies. And Ben went and got from a beekeeper. They actually make these. The bees make it. Bee pollen pellets that before they turn it into honey and everything. It's like unprocessed pellets of pollen. And you pop a couple of them every day and just let them melt on your tongue. And literally after a month, your allergies are like gone.
It has to be from your area.
Yeah, from your area. And you become like immune to everything around you because you build up a
really
pollen.
Cool.
Different pollens.
Well, it's really
now
good,
I'm going
honey.
to eliminate her asthma medication because her asthma, because of the allergies, she can, tolerate everything around her, which, I can count 1 year in one school year. She missed almost 28 days of school because her allergies and asthma were so bad.
Jeez.
No, they were testing. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, sweetie. I'm going to say goodnight. But Ben and Cheryl, thank you. As investigators, I'm going to put you on our guest list.
Yes,
and
please.
I promise, when you come on our show, I will not mute you. Okay.
Total technical glitch. I don't know what happened. Well, my son turned off the internet, so we lost the call for a second. But I called back in, and for some reason, it just would not transfer back in.
Oh.
I called Tiffany's phone, and she patched me in. So, thankfully, we got it figured out. But my son's to blame ultimately.
It was fine. Jerry and I never had a problem talking. So.
Thankfully, you didn't hang up, and you kept talking, and had a lovely conversation, and asked a lot of the questions that I had planned on asking you.
Aw. Well, I do. This thing. I know we're short on time. They were testing me. They never did find out what was wrong. And one of the things they did was an MRI of my brain. I guess I wanted to prove to Ed I actually do have a brain. And one side of my brain is full of lesions. The other side has like 2 or 3. So I said to the guy, what? I'm getting kind of freaked out. What the heck's going on? And he just sort of shrugged his shoulders and he said, well, if I didn't know better, he said, I would have thought you had a whole bunch of strokes, which I didn't. I didn't have any strokes at all. And he said, I don't know. And I'm thinking to myself when I left there, I've got half of my brain is full of lesions, and he shrugs his shoulders. There's something wrong
I've heard
there.
that MS, a lot of times will show the spots and lesions on your brain. And also, severe migraines will cause lesions.
No, I don't have migraines. But I rarely even got a headache. I do a little bit now since my heart thingy. I don't know why it seems to change my chemistry or something. But, no, I'm really not a headache person. So, yeah, it's weird.
Did they rule out MS?
Pardon me? They never ruled it out or ruled it in. I asked. Because Jerry has MS, and of course she gave me the symptoms. I said to my doctor, is that something you're testing me for? And he said, well, blah, 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 and he rattled off a bunch of stuff and then just sort of said goodbye. Okay, fine. I'm still upright. I still make sense, I think. So I'm not going to question it, I guess. But I don't want any more pills thrown at me. We kind of believe the way you guys do. It's the less we put in our system, the better.
Well, we've been doing a really weird show this week. We went from paranormal spiritual to healthcare.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. And we even covered chemtrails, guys. We did a hell of a job tonight.
Conspiracies, and hey, we're good.
Sexuality, right?
Well, it's beyond paranormal, and one of the reasons we did Beyond is because there's so many other things we like to talk about. and so many things that we have questions for and opinions on that it's just like we want it to be just
we'll have to have a motorcycle and car show.
Yeah, I don't think we kind of want to get that far beyond.
Oh, Ed would like it, right? He's a motorcycle guy.
He was once, yes. I was just a great seer.
Yes, right.
I'll have to be sick that week.
You know, fun.
Poor Ed.
But, anytime a doctor tells you that they're unsure or they have to call you back or whatever, always get a second opinion. Even if you're just talking to someone holistically, get a second opinion, because I swear half these doctors paid their way through medical school and they don't know what they're talking about.
I just look at it from the fact you have to trust your own gut. If you know there's something wrong with you, you know it.
Exactly. Thank you.
I agree,
yes.
100%.
Yes.
And you know, and you know what will make you feel better. You figure it out. You go, oh well, if I try a little bit more, and look into what you're doing. If it makes you feel better, then why is it making you feel better?
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of you hearing deficiencies and all this stuff, you can figure it out on your own. You try things, and if it works, good, and you can make your own decisions for your own self.
I know, and with me, I have had a neck operation. I know that I have problems with my neck and back, and I've been tested because I have chronic pain throughout my entire body.
Yes.
Since I met you.
Yes, but
it transmits.
The doctors I go to, they pretty much tell me, oh, it's all in your head, it's all in your head, it's all in your head.
I know.
We're not going to give you any pain medication. We're not going to give you this. We're not going to do that. There's nothing wrong with you. I'm sorry. If I'm in chronic pain all the time,
there's something wrong.
I keep a diary in my phone. I get chronic migraines. I can get 4 or 5 a week sometimes.
Oh.
And the doctor's like, oh, nope, there's nothing wrong. Nothing we can do. Well, you're pretty dumb then if you think that nothing's wrong. I'm sorry. A test can't prove everything. My sister tested negative for rheumatoid arthritis like 6 times.
Oh, geez. Yep, that happens.
My test came out for lupus 12 years ago, double positive. They tested me again a few years later. It was inconclusive. I have no idea what that means. And then a few years after that, one came out positive, one came out negative. But they have never. I said, so I have lupus? No, you don't have lupus. I said,
well, how can they tell you have lupus and then tell you that you don't?
Exactly. And it drives me crazy. I mean, it's just like now they want to do a 4-hour operation to go through my groin up to my heart and kill off a bunch of nerves in my heart so that my heart will slow down. I'm not doing that on one doctor's opinion. I'm going to go somewhere else and make sure, because let me tell you, I found out Obamacare. Our family doctor, the nurse asked me all these questions every single time we go in. I said to her, why do you ask me the same questions? Have you had this test, that test? And she said, because I have to. If we ask these questions, Obama, the government, pays us $11,000. If we don't ask you these questions, we have to pay the government $11,000. Do you believe that?
Doesn't that fall underneath the law of insanity?
It's insane. Yes.
You know what the law of insanity is? It was developed by Einstein. Einstein said that if you do something once and get bad results, and you know that your process was correct, then don't keep doing it because you're going to keep getting bad results.
Exactly. But you know how many people could be treated for that $11,000 every time Ed or I goes to the doctor?
Oh, especially the amount overcharged for tests and everything.
Well, blame that on medical companies. We did that to ourselves because we're blind sheep sometimes.
But
you're right.
We are running out of time. We have about 45 seconds.
Oh, sorry about that.
Ladies, Jerry, Marsha,
and Ed.
And
Ed. Happy birthday again.
Paranormal Angels. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. You ladies have a there anything where anybody can contact you if they need any spiritual guidance or if they're looking for a handmade rosary?
And also send us links. We'll put them up in our page so we can get it out there for anybody who's interested.
Sure, they could go to the theparanormalangels.com or get me on Facebook, Marcia Becker, Geraldine.
Yep, author Geraldine Palmer-Baus, or the same thing, www.theparanormalangels.com. And you can ask us, contact us, and thank you guys. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much. We had fun.
Ladies, have a good night.
You
too. God bless.
You also.
And get us the links to those sites.
Yes, we'll put them up on our page.
Okay.
Awesome.
We're all good. But, yeah, that was awesome. It's nice listening to you because I didn't have to talk.
Yeah.
Filling in when my poor phone would not work right.
Aw. It's okay. We deal.
It's the first time where I actually couldn't get through when I tried calling back in. And it's probably because my son it reset the phone when he unhooked the internet, but it just would not go through. The internet came back up, but the phone just would not go.
Aw.
That's all right. It happens.
That's a freaky feeling, though. I know. We've been there. Blog is known for stuff like that.
It happens. You just work with it. That's all you can do. I got to get a new mic, though, because this thing's horrible. My kitten decided it was a great thing and knocked it over, and it landed in water, and now it's muffled, I guess.
Jeez.
Good show, you guys. Very, very good show.
Well, thank you for having us.
We had fun. You guys are fun. So thank you for having us on.
You got to come on our show, like Marcia and Ed said, because
you bet.
We're going to have fun.
We'll let you talk. We'll be quiet. So, yeah, you got to come on.
Ladies. Soon.
All right.
Bye.
Night.
Bye.
Good night, hon.